Ever since she ran into him at the Christmas party, Willow had been trying to avoid Jackson Flynn, Ava's son. So it had been almost 5 months, and Jackson was back in Los Angeles, but he had been texting her daily at first, and then weekly. Willow didn't respond to any of its texts. She had no desire to. Jackson was dangerous for her because he was her soulmate. He was the one who she'd been dreaming about. Literally. He'd come into her dreams, night after night, telling her he was close. Of course, how he appeared in her dreams was different from how he actually looked. In her dreams, he was dark-headed with long hair, and he was dressed in the style of 16th century England, with an embroidered chemise and ruffled sleeves, a snug-fitting jacket known as a doublet, hose, and a codpiece. Sometimes. Other times he was dressed in Victorian garb, with a top hat, long coat, vest, notched collar, and breeches. His face sported the signature hair of the day, mutton chops. Willow's favorites were the dreams where he appeared to her in 1920s garb. Newsboy cap, 3-piece suit in brown tweed, a pocket watch, cap-toe Oxfords, and a bow tie. Still, other times he was clad in fur. In those iterations, he was hairy, stooped, and spoke only in guttural grunts. Those were just some of the ways Jackson had appeared to her. There were many, many more. In other words, she'd gone through many lives for eons, and apparently there was a man in every one of those lives. The same man. Jackson. Of course, now that he finally made his presence known in her life, she had no interest in pursuing it further. No. If there was one thing that Willow had zero interest in, it was getting involved with a man. Any man, even her soulmate, as Jackson apparently was. She realized that, in her previous lives, she'd given away her power. Of course, she had to. When she lived in Victorian times, she was considered her husband's property and nothing more. She was born into money in that lifetime, but that money immediately became the property of her husband from the moment she said, "I do." She was a witch then, but kept that a secret lest she be persecuted. Not that it was her husband's decision for her to live such a miserable, cosseted life. It wasn't. But it was society's decision, and she had to abide. When she lived in the 1920s, she was a feminist and a writer. She was also a powerful witch who agitated for change and spoke out about injustice perpetrated against women, blacks, and other minorities. However, she was also cut down by a man in that lifetime. Not by her husband. Her husband, in all her lifetimes, was good, kind, and just. But by a man who dragged her into an alley and stabbed her after word got around about her abilities.